We are live. We are live. Welcome to College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. We cover everything in college football because we love absolutely everything in college football. And if you do as well, please subscribe to our channel. Smash that like button if you like our content. Share the video with your family and friends. Do not forget to ring the notification bell. If you want to support this independent national college football's rebel outpost with a donation to help us keep the lights on and grow the channel, just hit that dollar sign where you make a comment, and I will get you super chat as quick as I possibly can. Welcome everybody into the studio that sits on the corner, the very corner of Keith Jackson Parkway and Kurt Gowdy Avenue. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to become a legend with your comments and with your phone calls. I almost pulled the trigger. I did not. I don't want to give too much away. By the way, before we get on with our program here, when I say smash the like button, when I say share the video, when I say become a legend in the chat room with your comments, we are almost, I believe it's like August 7th or August 10th was our very first show in 2022. So we're coming on the 4-year anniversary of this independent rebel outpost being born. And over that time, you all have been so kind and generous that you all have smashed the like button 177,000 times. 177,000 times you have smashed the like button. And I want to thank you for doing that, because that is how you have made this very, very small YouTube channel into a less small YouTube channel. 177,000 times. You've also made over 30,000 comments in the chat room. You have also shared this video over 8,000 times. You have shared the channel. So I do appreciate you all doing that. I hope you continue tonight, but you may not like this content. You might want to hold off on smashing the like button, because you don't know where I'm going to. If you are a fan of a Big 12 school, this could be a very highly controversial night. And let me start off by making an excuse. No, don't worry. Don't worry. Who the fat guy from Minnesota sits before you as Greg the Gold. There's no question about that. I know most of you are questioning it, but I'm not. Having said that, let's be honest. Let's be honest here. The Big 12 is the hardest conference to predict. Come on. There's an eyelash of difference between 7 and 13. I mean, we're talking about a backup left guard going down. You can slip from 8 to 12 like that. So do not try to do this at home. Leave this to a wannabe professional like myself. Now you all know we did, like we always do every off season. What we do, what I have learned, because we got to talk college football during the off season, but people really only like it and take it in short doses. So the first dose, we did our way too early order of finish prediction on how the conferences and how the playoffs were going to look. And then we did a short dose that lasted about 100 days, where we did 80 different spotlights on 80 different teams. And now this is our last dose before the season starts. Now again, of course, I'm still going to be talking Big 12 football leading up to the first week. I'm saying this is it when it comes to determining the order of finish. I cannot do any more work on the Big 12. It comes to the point where you got to make decisions. I don't want any more information. I've broken down the tapes. I've gone through the magazines. I've been on YouTube. This is it. This is it. If you take a look, at our way too early order of finish prediction. We did this early in the spring, 2026. We did this real early. Colorado 16, Iowa State 15. UCF 14, Cincinnati 13. This is not our official. We're going to do our official tonight. This was our way too early order of finish prediction. Kansas 12, West Virginia 11, Arizona State 10, Baylor 9, TCU 8, Arizona 7, Kansas State 6, Oklahoma State 5, Houston 4, Utah 3, BYU 2, Texas Tech 1. And when I did my way too early order finish prediction, I went through all the teams, a little bit of just a little bit, and I gave you the reasons why, and then we did the spotlight on all the Big 12 schools. And now tonight is the official order of finish prediction. And I'm going to give everybody a little bit of a warning here. I ended up flipping more than I thought I would. I changed my mind. That is called maturity. That is called wisdom. That is called brushing off, finally, any resemblance of Greg the Cold, Greg the Cooler. I'm done with it. It's gone. I got rid of it. And now I sit before you a much wiser man, Greg the Gold. So I did some flipping. And I'll give you the reasons why. And again, it's going to be in short dose. I'm just going to go through all of this. I'm going to give you my reasons why. But let me give you one more excuse. Let me give you one more excuse. Well, let me give you the same excuse. The Big 12 is the most difficult conference. Then I believe the ACC is next. And the Big 10 and the SEC to me are quite similar when it comes to the difficulty of predicting the order of finish. And it even involves who I had put as the number one team in the Big 12 in the way too early order finish prediction, the Texas Tech Red Raiders, who's got all kinds of talent. They're absolutely loaded. But what about their quarterback position? It was announced just recently, Joy McGuire has said it, that Will Hammond will be ready for week 1. Before that Friday night matchup in week 3 against the Houston Cougars. Will Hammond, who barely played, he played some. He looked good. He looked better at running the ball than throwing the ball, but he threw the ball pretty good. He's got an arm. But again, he hasn't. We're kind of. The number one team is an relatively unknown quarterback who had a severe knee injury. I'm going to put the Red Raiders at number 1 in the Big 12 in my official order finish prediction. I'm going to put the Red Raiders in the Big 12 championship game. I'm going to have the Red Raiders win the Big 12 championship game. I'm going to have the Red Raiders representing the Big 12 in the playoffs. Where you're going to find out here in a little bit. We are going to start off our program with the order of finish prediction. And then we got a couple of other things that I want to talk about. The year that the Big 12, this is it. This is it. This year, the Big 12 champion. It don't matter if they're 12-0. It don't matter if they're 11-1. I should say 13-0, 12-1, 11-2, 10-3, 9-4, 8-5. It does not matter. The Big 12 champion is going to the playoffs. They got an automatic berth. This year, a Big 12 school, be it the champion, be it the team that lost in the Big 12 championship game, be it a third team, a Big 12 team has to win a playoff game. It has to happen this year. It is vital. So, is it going to be the Red Raiders? Or is it the team that has come just inches away from making the playoffs the last 2 years, the BYU Cougars, in which I'm absolutely in love with that coaching staff. I get it. I don't watch every single game. I'm not a BYU Cougar fan. They're just as evil as any other Big 12 school, any other ACC school, any SEC school, any Big 10 school except for Wisconsin and Iowa are a little bit more evil than BYU. I'm not a BYU fan, so I'm not watching every single game of every single play. But what I see is a team, and we talked about this last year. I love that BYU Utah game last year. That BYU team gets off and on the field. They don't screw up on their packages. They do not have to call timeouts for the stupidest things, like my team and most teams have to do during the season. They are organized on the sideline. Now, again, they've had some coaches changes and all that, but Kalani Sitake, the players, they are in the present. They know what they're doing. And they've got their key players back, a lot of them. And then you got Utah. Utah desperately. They want in. They've been the Big 12 piñata, and they've asked for it. They've shown that you know what. They've been out there. They've asked for it. They want the smoke, and they've received it. They desperately want in the Big 12 championship game. Are they going to make it? Or are they going to be shielded outside of it because of BYU? And then you've got some other schools, some other teams out there that I'm in love with. Sorry, not sorry. I'm absolutely in love with about 3 or 4 other of Big 12 schools. I like how they're set up. I think they're set up from day one. One of the teams that might not be quite ready on day one, but if they get going, if they start hot, they might finish stronger, and that is the Oklahoma State Cowboys. They got a whole new team, new coach, new quarterback, Wyatt Young, Caleb Hawkins. We've talked about it. Stillwater is brimming with excitement, and they should be. However they start, I think they're going to be ending quite stronger than they start. So look out. And then you got the Houston Cougars, Connie Wigman, Amari Thomas. You got the Kansas State Wildcats. If Avery Johnson can get to the next level, all he needs to do is go up another level. They got a wide receiver 1. They got an RB1. They've got the perfect schedule. They do not play Texas Tech. They do not play BYU. They do not play Utah. And they play Houston at home. And then you got Noah Fafita, who's played more snaps, who's done more things, who's made more plays. And they have got an incredibly underrated running back standing behind Noah Fafita. TCU, Jaden Craig, who might have the best arm in the conference. Yep. Oh, yeah. I would think most definitely he has the best. Go look at the tape. You got Michael Hawkins, Rich Rod. I tell you, at Iowa State, I'm telling you, they don't have the talent to compete to join the middle of the conference, in my opinion. But I want you to keep a close eye on the Iowa State Cyclones. I think they're going to have a big upset this year. They're going to beat somebody in which the Cyclones were favored, were the underdogs by more than 2 touchdowns. They're going to beat somebody in which they are the underdog by more than 2 touchdowns. So we are going to go through the Big 12, the prediction. You can let me have it. Look, this is why we do it. I'm asking for it. I give you my opinion. I don't need to do this, but I do it because I love it. So you guys should come after me and say, fat guy, you're still Greg the Cooler, because you're absolutely wrong. But am I? I ask you, am I? We're going to go through the PATC Big 12 official order of finish prediction. And then right after that, what is going on in college football right now? Here a cap, there a cap, everywhere a cap. There's cap talk everywhere. What is going on? And then I have, I don't know what this is. I don't even know what this is. I hesitate to even bring it up, but we were told something here at Peek Around the Corner. It's not clear to me what this means. So it's really going to be worthless information. But I'm gonna put it out there anyway, because maybe something gets reported about this on a Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. It has to do with that. It sounds like we were told, this is within inside the Big Ten, something to do with a possible compromise within expansion. But we do not have all the. We don't even understand what we were told, to be honest with you. So we're gonna talk. We're just gonna talk about it a little bit there. Not so much possibly not about a cap number, but about something else in relation to expansion, conference expansion, being regulated within that Title II. So we're going to talk about that, and anything you guys want to talk about, in college football, give us a phone call, super chat. You know how it works. Let's do the roll call. We've got first a very, very kind super chat. $2 holla. Thought this would be past your bedtime, Hammer Hennison. Thank you for the $2 holler. I appreciate it. I've been a very busy old man. Let's put it that way. Got a lot of stuff going on. So anyway, Saturday night is all right for PATC. We're going to be on late Saturdays during the football season, which is 5 Saturdays away. So we're all going to have to get used to it. Saturday nights, I'm going to be in the studio. You can click me on. You can cry about your team. You can celebrate about your team. You can go after my beloved Golden Gophers after a bad game. So get used to it. Late Saturday nights here at Peak Around the Corner. Thank you, Hammer Hennison. Appreciate it. Jan Hulk is in the house. Coy, the Rays are back. Nick Kelso, Charlie Atwood, Bob Swanger, the Buckeye, Jared Jones, Jay Chapman, friends, call me Sean. Here is the evil Badger. Amy's in the house. Run with Scissors is here. Bill G. The incredible edible Bill G. The Cowboy. Now I got dragged over the coals when I had Oklahoma State finishing number 5 in the Big 12 in the early spring. Did I pull back a little bit? Did I get a little afraid? Do I have the Oklahoma State Cowboys at number 6, number 7, number 8? Do they have enough? Do they have enough depth? Can't have enough depth with year 1 under Eric Morris, correct? Or did I do the old, I am not afraid to become a legend with my Oklahoma State Cowboy pick? You're going to have to find out. Dante's Infernal Purgatory, Greg's official success, or Cheeseburger, PATC rendition. DCB is in the house. Daryl is here, the notorious Sun Devil. Arizona State will not finish 10th. That's all. Now I've embarrassed myself with my Arizona State Sun Devil picks. The year that Arizona State won the Big 12 championship, went to the playoffs, and gave Texas everything they possibly could have wanted, I had Arizona State coming in 16th place that year. Even though I like Sam Leavitt coming out of Michigan State. Notorious Sun Devil and Antoine Johnson and the other Sun Devils that come into the chat room, PATC family. What did you think of Kenny Dillingham when he spoke about how just recently, yesterday, day before, how he needs somebody in Phoenix or some millionaire to write a check? I'm going to talk about that. And I'm going to be honest. That shook me. That little excerpt that Kenny Dillingham did just a couple of days ago, that shook me. It changed me. on the Sun Devils for this year. John Grove is in the house. 177,000 one time. Smashing the like button. Larry Anger. What did I do with the Mountaineers? What did I do with West Virginia? Because in my way too early order of finish prediction, I had West Virginia at number 11, which quite frankly is higher than most of these prediction sites. I got them doing better than most people are going to give them credit for here, but what did I do with them? Did I drop them? Did I go from 11 to 13? Did I keep them at 11? Did I move them up? No Berman is in the house. Gold Black 45, the big gun shop. Arn Kraigbaum is here. Justin Lucas. I'm going to have a hard time with North Carolina State. Now we're not doing the ACC tonight. But man, are they difficult. I got them at 7. I have North Carolina State at 7. And I don't know what to do with them. There's a part of me that wishes that I could just skip over them. Here's the thing. They broke my heart. I broke their heart a couple of years ago when I fell in love with them. But that's when I was Greg the Cooler. So the Wolfpack had no chance. But I felt bad that I destroyed that team. I felt bad that I did that to Justin Lucas, who's been so kind to this program and has helped me out so much in the background. When I did the ACC quarterback ratings in early spring, I have CJ Bailey as the number 2 quarterback in the conference. Yes, ahead of Kevin Jennings. Ahead of the dude from California. I have him ahead of everybody except for Darren Mensah. And if you look at North Carolina State's schedule, they have the Kansas State schedule. I have no idea. I have no idea what to do with the Wolfpack. Secret Agent is in the house. Edward, the Auburn Tiger, is here. Sid Irish. Tough Tony. Buckeye Greg. What's your opinion is from Mohen's information from last night? I jumped down early and I jumped down real late, and I don't think I saw it. I missed about 95% of the show. Again, extremely busy with everything going on. Mohr Simmons is in the house. Old Dad is here. Thanks for coming on in. Thanks for coming on in. The other Gygax, please pick West Virginia. No. The other Gygax, you don't want that. You do not want that. You want me to pick West Virginia as high as possible in the standings. Other Gygax, let's go. Let's go. Cal Barrier is in the house. All right, let's get to it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to it. Let's just start it off. Number 16, finishing last in the Big 12 in 2026. Let me know how wrong I got it once again. in the chat room, super chat, give me a phone call after the monologue is over. We've got the Colorado Buffaloes, number 16. I have tried to figure out how to move Colorado off the 16 line. I'm very interested in watching Brendan Marion, the new offensive coordinator. I'm very interested in all that. I heard a very good breakdown from Cover 3 podcast about Colorado. How they might not have the number of high-level players on the roster. They don't have that talent. But they have a lot of guys they got guys that can actually play in the portal. Serviceable players. They've got more serviceable players. But again, Julian Lewis, the quarterback, he might be a high-level quarterback. He might, but I don't have any. The superstar that we all know that they have is Danny Scudero, the great wide receiver from San Jose State, the transfer. So they got a superstar wide receiver. And if the quarterback can elevate himself to the high school rankings that he was given. Now the running backs are completely, again, we've already done the breakdown of Colorado. I don't want to spend too much time at any one team. I know y'all got a busy Saturday night. But this is the last time I'm going to flush this out. This is it. Defense, they're all new. They got a ton of question marks. I got Colorado at 16. I could not find a way to move them off the 16 line. Now, when I did the way too early order of finish prediction for the Big 12, in early spring, I said there was a batch of 4, the 13th, the 14th, the 15th, and the 16th. And you could go each way on any of those 4 teams. I do think there is a gap between 14 and 15. I think 13 and 14 are measurably better than 15 and 16. So there is 15 is Cincinnati. My doubts in Cincinnati has only ever grown. None of my worries have gone away. Quarterback J.C. French, I'm having a hard time buying it. The wide receiver room completely needs to be rebuilt. Any Bearcat will tell you that. Noah Jennings, who transferred to Minnesota, he's probably going to be wide receiver number 1 or number 2 for Minnesota. Cincinnati lost everybody. Running back Zion Johnson, I remember breaking him down. I guess the stud that they have, the superstar that the Bearcats have, is Joe Cotton, the left tackle. I don't know, guys. Cincinnati Bearcats, I think are number 15. I think there's a gap between 15 and 16 with number 14. And maybe I'm still being too hard on School 14. Yes, I do think Scott Satterfield is going to be on the hot seat pretty early in the season. Number 14, UCF. Now, I was wrong about UCF last year. I believe they finished 5-7. I could be incorrect. But Scott Frost, I do remember they did better than I thought they were going to do. But that was Greg the Cooler back then. You guys all know that I'm not a believer in Scott Frost. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I know they're 40. He's 40 and 45 career-wise. He's done a lot better at UCF. He's done really good at UCF. I know he loves Alonzo Barnett. I know he loves his quarterback. He said it. Now, there is some talk that he might not be totally healthy because of that knee injury at the end of last year. So that's a little bit of a worry. Duke Watson's a good running back. We've talked about him. They've got a very good secondary. They're all coming back. So there is some, I do think there's a gap between 14 and with 15 and 16. UCF could be a little too low. I maybe should have placed them higher. But I love the head coach of the Iowa State Cyclones. I have moved them up. I believe I had them at 15. I moved them up to 13. And it's all based on the head coach. And the quarterback, Jalen Rainier. I have watched his tape. I watched his tape when we did the breakdown, the spotlight on the Cyclones. I think he's going to be pretty good. I think it's going to transfer what he did. It's going to transfer over what he did at Arkansas State. I think he's going to do really good at Ames, Iowa. I think he's going to become a fan favorite. And again, I think Iowa State is going to upset somebody. A game that they're not supposed to win, they're going to win. The confusion that Jimmy Rogers does with that defense, they're going to confuse the hell out of a young quarterback in the Big 12, and the Cyclones are going to come away with a big-time victory. And it may even be against those evil Iowa Hawkeyes. Iowa State Cyclones, 13. Oh boy, here we go. Number 12. I am going to be crushed on this pick. Here we go. I got shook. Arizona State, number 12. I moved them from 10 to 12. That little press conference that Kenny Dillingham had, when he talked about how they need somebody in the Phoenix area, they need somebody to write the check. He's done this before. I get it. You want to publicly, you want to privately do this when he pushed for more funding. But he did this again, and he did it in a way that I think I watched that over and over and over and over again. And I think he's given himself an out this year. I think Kenny Dillingham believes that he doesn't have the team this year. Now, I like some of what Cutter Boley did at Kentucky last year. He was not playing, he did not have the best coaching staff at Kentucky. They switched that up. He had to gamble a lot at Kentucky last year. He threw way too many interceptions, but again, he had to gamble a lot. And he's a gambling quarterback. He's a little bit of a gunslinger. Amari Miller is a very good transfer portal. They got him from Colorado. He had 40-some catches last year. Always been a promising talent. But I gotta be honest with you. Kenny Dillingham, he scared me. He scared me. He looked shook. I got shook. He had no confidence. He's basically telling everybody, we don't have it. We do not have the horses because we need somebody to cut us a check. And he might be completely correct. He probably is. So I would have had the Sun Devils. I would have had the Sun Devils at 10. But after that, I got shook. I got to be honest with you. Number 11 in our PATC Big 12 official order of finish prediction. I had them at number 9 in our way too early predictions, but I had to drop them a couple of notches. The Baylor Bears. Now I'm hope I'm proven wrong. I hope DJ Lagway goes out there and plays up to his supposed capabilities. I hope he electrifies the Baylor Bear fans. I hope it's a storytelling type of great season for Baylor. Saves Dave Aranda's job. I love that running back, Dawson Pendergrass, who got injured a couple of years ago. He did not play last year. He got injured before the season started. Dawson Pendergrass is a tough dude. I love watching him. The player that he was a couple of years ago. I don't know what he's going to be this year. He got severely injured. They lost Keaton Thomas, the great linebacker. He went in the portal. They got a lot of new dudes. They got a and look. I'm gonna give. No, he just said it again. Notorious Sun Devil. He just did it again. Dilly made the same comments again. I do like the Baylor Bears that they got Joe Klanderman, defensive coordinator with the Kansas State Wildcats. With the changes going on at Kansas State, I think that's a good defensive coordinator pickup. But I cannot get Baylor. I had to slip them back a couple of spots. This is one of the teams that I moved up. The Kansas Jayhawks. I kind of wanted to move them up a little bit more. But I can't quite get past the question marks of the quarterback battle between Cole Ballard and Isaiah Marshall. But I do give a lot of credence. I give a lot of credence that the old band is back together again in Rock Chalk Jayhawk Nation. I like that Colton Nicky is back with Leopold. And I've always been a fan of the talent of Dylan Edwards. I was excited that he went to Colorado to Kansas State, and then he got injured. I don't know. I can't remember if it was a kickoff return or a punt return. I kind of want to think it was a kickoff return. But now he's the Kansas Jayhawks running back. He's got a lot of talent. I love that linebacker, Lathan. I think his first name is... can't remember his first name. It has slipped my mind. Lathan is a great linebacker. Kansas Jayhawks, number 10. Number 10. Number 9. I'm giving Rich Rod the benefit of the doubt here. I still have a lot of question marks around West Virginia. He had a much better portal this year than last year. He did not have an opportunity to have a good portal season last year. I would agree with the comments made from Larry Andrick and others. I have read it. Michael Hawkins is turning a lot of heads in Morgantown. And when West Virginia, I said it at the time, when West Virginia was able to get Cam Cook, I watched Cam Cook at Jacksonville State. I watched him. I can't remember what game it was, but he was phenomenal. I remember that he wore the number 4 for Jacksonville State. He went inside and he could take it outside. He could bump it outside and he could run between the tackles. That was my impression of him. And then when he went in the portal and West Virginia got him, I said, bam! That is a Rich Rod player. I got a lot of question marks. But I think if West Virginia can finish in the middle of the Big 12, then I think it can be reestablished that Rich Rod in 2026 can spot evaluate talent. That is what I think we're waiting for, because that is the success. You know, we all talk about Rich Rod and that fast offense and that new, all that great stuff, the speed that he was able to get on offense, but it was his talent evaluation. You bring a guy like Cam Cook in, and if he explodes during Big 12 football play, West Virginia is going to be able to go in the portal and tell everybody, the best players in G6, and say, look what we did for Cam Cook. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think there's going to be success there. So West Virginia at number 9. At number 8. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I could not put them any higher than 8. And I couldn't put them any lower than 8. TCU is in the right spot here. The quarterback is a question mark, not his arm, but he's bumping up in big time in class, right? You are going from the Ivy League to the Big 12. You are taking a big jump. So it's kind of hard to, it's kind of hard to see TCU. I can't put them higher than 8. Now, again, we talked about it at the beginning of the show with the Horned Frogs. They've got their Jeremy Payne, the running back. They've got their Jordan Dye, the wide receiver. Their toughest games are on the road, if I remember correctly. Toughest games are on the road. They've got that great safety, the all Big 12 safety. We broke him down in the spotlight, Jamel Johnson. They got a leader back there. He's been there for a while. He's all Big 12. When you have a leader on defense, hopefully Jaden Craig can be the leader on offense for the Horned Frogs. Number 7, Arizona Wildcats. Arizona. Noah Fafita, exciting player. I love watching this dude. He's come back again. Risano, the running back, incredibly underrated. Incredibly underrated. And I don't think I gave Brett Brennan enough credit going into last year. What he did at San Jose State, coming in to Arizona in a tough spot. And look, Arizona could end up being in the Big 12 championship game. Starting at number 7, going to number 1, any of these teams can go to the Big 12 championship game. I think Arizona could get there. But I can't pick them higher than 7. And I'll give you a great example of why. Kansas State, number 6. Kansas State could end up being in the Big 12 championship game. Of course they can. Of course. Avery Johnson just has to step up and be a little bit more accurate, have a higher completion percentage. You got Joe Jackson. That guy's a beast. Jerron Tibbs, we talked about him when we did the spotlight, the great wide receiver. They were able to capture Wendell Gregory, we had under the spotlight, from Oklahoma State, the defensive edge rusher. And they had some dudes coming back. Colin Klein, first-year head coach, has the perfect schedule. The perfect schedule. You do not play Utah. You do not play BYU. You do not play Texas Tech. And you play Houston at home. Kansas State could go 10-2, 11-1, or 12-0. If I knew that Avery Johnson was going to get to the next level, Kansas State would not be at 6. They would be at 1. They would be at 2. They would be at 3. The Wildcats are at number 6, but just like Arizona, in the very unpredictable Big 12 this year, they could find themselves in the Big 12 championship game. Number 5. Now, I did have to make an adjustment on this. This was a very, very difficult decision. Because, again, this team could be in the Big 12 championship game. I love this team going into this year. But I had to move them down. I had to move them down. The Houston Cougars. Willie Fritz. Conner Weigman is going to have an excellent season if he can stay healthy. If he can stay healthy. You know, I talk about Amari Thomas all the time, the great wide receiver of the Houston Cougars, coming back. He's played with Conner Weigman last year. We talk about it. You know what? I always forget to mention Mekhi Hughes, who did not do anything at Oregon last year because Oregon was absolutely stacked at the running back position. But Mekhi Hughes, you see what he did at Tulane? My goodness. He has a chance of an outstanding season. They've got an all Big 12 cornerback, Will James. They've got Kentrell Webb that we did a spotlight on him. A great safety. They've got a very good secondary. They had a very good defense last year. They're expected to have a very good defense. The Houston Cougars could be in the Big 12 championship game. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All of them can be in the Big 12 championship game. The Cougars at number 5. And again, they play the Texas Tech Red Raiders in week 3 on a Friday night in Lubbock, Texas. I think we'll be doing a watch party on that game. Number 4. I couldn't move them up and I could not move them down. I think they might have the same problem as Kansas State. Well, they have a little bit of a different problem. But the Utah Utes. I could not put Utah in the Big 12 championship game. I like Devin Dampier. I think he's a hell of a quarterback. But again, if you watch that BYU-Utah game, BYU creeped up on them. They got closer and closer to the wide receivers. They clutched and grabbed. BYU said, Devin Dampy, if you can beat us long, you can beat us long, but we don't think you can beat us long. And he couldn't beat the BYU Cougars down. It was a chess match. And BYU Cougars put the right moves on the chessboard. Can Dampier open it up? Can he let the ball rip? Can he complete the long passes? And again, they're going to have a different offensive line. That's a problem. Wayshawn Parker, great running back. They got the kid, Utah State, transfer wide receiver. I can't remember his name. Sorry, I can't remember his name. Had a very good season at Utah State. I think he had over 900 yards passing. Kyrie Scholes, the San Jose State wide receiver. We talked about Danny Scudero going to Colorado. What about Scholes going to Utah? Morgan Scalley, first-year head coach. Some question marks in that. Utah, number 4. Again, 7-6-5-4-3-2-1. Any of those 7 teams, I believe, can go to the Big 12 championship game. But I got Utah at number 4. Number 3, possibly the most exciting team in all of college football this year. The Oklahoma State Cowboys needed a big change in Stillwater, and baby, they got it. The great fans of the Cowboys got what they wanted, what they deserved. A new day, a new era. Eric Morris, Drew Messmaker, Caleb Hawkins, Wyatt Young. They're going to light it up. Bill G, Oklahoma State defense is suspect, yes. But the Cowboys are just going to outscore everybody, Bill G. Now, they do have quarterback LaDainian Fields. We had to put him in the spotlight. It was hard to find a defensive player to put in the spotlight. But Drew Messmaker, now look, he was incredible at North Texas. And I know the Oklahoma State Cowboys in the PATC family want to play this down. I understand. But Drew Messmaker was phenomenal in spring ball. We got to be honest. I get it, but we got to be honest. He was phenomenal. It wasn't like he was not overwhelmed. He was sensational. Ladies and gentlemen of the Big 12, you got work to do when you're playing the Cowboys this year. You've got work to do. I ain't saying, but I'm saying Arizona, Kansas State, Houston, Utah, Oklahoma State, any one of them can make it to the Big 12 championship game, in my opinion. Number 2, I got the BYU Cougars. I would have had Oklahoma State here, but BYU has got so much. I love that coaching staff. I love that running back. I love that quarterback. The quarterback is Superman. Sure, Drew Messmaker might become PATC's Batman this year. I have not made a ruling on it. I want to see him play a game. We've got Malachi Toney, the great wide receiver at Miami. He's Spider-Man. We got Bear Bachmeier, BYU, he's Superman. Drew Messmaker might be Batman, but BYU's got Superman. Bear Bachmeier, I loved watching this young man play. I absolutely loved watching this guy play. What a beast. Great arm. He was really good in the passing game. It was his running game. If it was 3rd and 8, Bear Bachmeier would keep it and he would get 6 yards. 4th and 2, he would keep it and gain 4 yards. First down, Cougars. The defense was excellent. Evan Johnson, we had him in the spotlight for the BYU Cougars defense. And I love LJ Martin. He's coming back again. And I've already talked about the coaching staff. I think BYU is a great, 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 great football team. And I thought BYU Cougars were one hell of a team last year. Number one, even though I've got questions at quarterback, so does everybody else, it does make me feel better about the Red Raiders because Joey McGuire has come out and said Will Hammond should be ready by week 1. But this team is so stacked, it's truly unbelievable. This is one hell of a football team. I do not like their backup quarterback. So Will Hammond, you got to stay healthy. I do not like Kirk Francis. I watched the tape on him. If he has to play, maybe he can prove me wrong. So Will Hammond has to stay healthy. But Cameron Dickey and Jacoby Williams, phenomenal backs. They're going to help Will Hammond out a lot, not just by running the football, but they do a lot out of the backfield. They can catch the ball. Great receivers out of the backfield. Offensive coordinator Leftwich has got to, he has to keep Will Hammond healthy. And if you watch last year, Hammond liked to take off. They gave him some design runs, but he really did it just because, he hadn't played much, right? The game was a little bit too fast for him. But he had the athletic ability. He had the wheels, but he's got to stay healthy. So they got to keep him home. They've got to keep him home in the pocket. The defense is ridiculous. A.J. Holmes, which I do not talk enough about, shame on me, because I spend my time talking about Ben Roberts, the great linebacker. We talked about Rodriguez last year. It was Ben Roberts who lit it up in the Big 12 championship game. Ben Roberts, outstanding linebacker. You got Bryce Pollock, great defensive. The Red Raiders are absolutely stacked. So, Big 12 championship game. The Red Raiders versus the BYU Cougars. The rematch. This time it's going to be Will Hammond versus Bear Bachmeier. And this is my Big 12 prediction. Big 12 championship game presented by Monster Energy. The Red Raiders 20. The BYU Cougars 17. Joey McGuire goes back to back. The Texas Tech Red Raiders are your Big 12 champions, according to Greg the Goal. Now here is the question. Here is the question that I have. BYU Cougars, I think they're gonna go 11-2. I think they're gonna have losses to Notre Dame and a very tough loss to the Red Raiders in the Big 12 championship game. But it's going to be a close loss. Kind of reminds me of SMU when they had lost I think it was 3 points, right, to Clemson. And SMU went to the playoffs along with Clemson. I think that's correct. Is BYU going to be able to make the playoffs 11-2, losing to Notre Dame, losing a close one to the Red Raiders, having a win over Utah? Is that going to be good enough? And I'm going to be honest with you. At this point, I do not know. Now, in my way too early playoff prediction, I do not have BYU making it. But they're going to be on the bubble for the third year in a row. And I might have them slipping in. I'm reevaluating everything. I'm taking everything apart. I have my way too early predictions. We're making our official prediction. But BYU is going to be a bubble team. They're going to be sitting on the bubble. So I will make that evaluation when I go through all the other conferences. But it is going to be the Texas Tech Red Raiders, your back-to-back Big 12 champion, even with the question mark at quarterback. Keep Will Hammond, keep him healthy. And it's not just about being healthy. This is going to be his first year as a starter. So there's question marks. But the Red Raiders got so much talent on that team. So much talent. I didn't even bring up their tight end, Terrence Carter. He's incredible. I don't have time to bring up all the players from all the teams. The Red Raiders are absolutely stacked. And into the playoffs they go once again. All right, so those are my predictions. College football is 1 month away. 1 month away. Greg, you should have your own booth at the Big Ten Media Days. I would never, ever, I would never even submit an application. I've had so many YouTube channel people tell me you should go to the Big Ten Media Days. I've had University of Minnesota people say go. If you submit it, you will get in. I don't think I would. I don't think I would. Maybe they have forgiven me about the USC story. I don't know. But they were not too happy with me years ago. John Dry's not happy. You should be happy. You should be happy. If I've got you at number 1 or number 2, if you are an Oklahoma State Cowboy, you should be happy because Greg the Gold is going to be on fire this year. All right, let me know how wrong I got it once again. We've got Larry Andrick, $5 holler, the Mountaineer. What does he have to say about these predictions? Larry Andrick, you are getting better, but you still, you may still be Greg the Cold. We will be in the top 5. Believe me. Larry Andrick, full of optimism. I would not expect anything less. I could not. There is, I think, again, I have West Virginia at number 9, and that would be a successful season going to a bowl game. I think there's too many question marks. But we shall see. If it can happen, it can happen in the Big 12. If it's possible to happen, it would happen in the Big 12. Thank you, Larry Andrick. Thank you for the $5 holler. Very much appreciated, sir. We've got a Pacific Northwest Ute $2 holler. Oh. Yeah. That's the man from Utah State. Brendan Pagan. I could not remember the name. Kyrie Scholes, yes. I talked about Pagan in the spotlight that I did, but I can't remember. He might have a great season this year. And again, I think Utah is going to be a very good football team. But again, this question, that offensive line, they lost by now. They lost some NFL-type players on the offensive line. Dampier, if he could show me development at the beginning of the season. I got them at number 4 with the possibility of going to the Big 12 championship game. I understand why Utah is very excited about their wide receiver room. I get that. And I understand why Wayshawn Parker, he showed going from Washington State to Utah. He was really good. No problem. No problem with that transition. You've got a new head coach. He's never been a head coach. It's just, I had to slip. It was the most difficult move. I had to put Oklahoma State just above Utah. We'll see how that works out. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the $2 holler. Thank you very much. All right. Before we get to this story, Old MacDonald had a farm. Here a cap, there a cap, everywhere a cap. Before we get to that story, I just want to... this is a case where we get some information that the person who told us this is not chatter behind the curtain. It's not a money perch. This comes from within a Big Ten university, not the University of Minnesota. And we talked, So I'm going to deliver you this information, but we don't understand the information. In fact, the person who gave us the information doesn't understand the information. So you might be asking, why the hell are you wasting our time if you don't even understand the information, Greg? We're not going to understand the information. I just want to put it out there because there might be something, maybe we get more clarification. We were told that this whole Title II, the cap number at 19 or cap number at 20, or maybe there's not going to be a cap or whatever. You remember the Ross Dellinger, his last reporting, I think it was yesterday, he said, in regards to the pooling of the media rights in the expansion part of Title II, that the lawmakers, the SEC and the Big Ten were in a good place. We were told that there could be this compromise in which it may or may not be about the cap number. Like, there might be a cap number, and the cap number might be at 20, or there might not be a cap number. This is where it gets confusing. But there might be this other ingredient in the compromise. There's this other thing that they've been working on. not just the cap number, which may or may not be there. Again, really confusing. We're not really helping tonight. I just want to put this out there. There may be this other ingredient of compromise. It's the speed of the expansion. They want to have language in there that doesn't gut a conference. There wants to be language in there, so you can only do so much so quickly in one location or to one conference. A regulation around acquiring new schools in your conference that would slow the pace down to ensure that we do not have another Pac-12 situation. So a limit on how many schools can come out of a certain conference at a certain time, or the speed that it can happen. Something around that has been talked about. Now, we do not know if that is part of why they're in a good space. We don't know if that's even going to be part. We don't know much. Only that there was another ingredient put into the talks. It doesn't help. What I just said doesn't help. I'm just putting it out there because this came from an administrative level at a university in the Big Ten with knowledge that works in an athletic department. So again, they're still working on that Title II language. Also, that was told to us by the same person is that the Big Ten and the SEC, it's obvious they want to get a deal done. It's obvious they want to get a deal done. And probably the biggest driver, according to this person, the biggest driver and why the Big Ten and the SEC would like to get a deal done doesn't even what I thought had to do with the compensation range and the compensation of players and all that. The number one reason why the Big Ten and the SEC are working overtime to try to get this done, if it's all possible, if they do not get completely jacked up with their sovereignty, is because of the impact of the state laws. They don't want state laws superseding anything anymore. And the only way they can get out of that hole is to get some federal help. So again, there's always been motive. It's obvious. The Big Ten and the SEC and the other conferences have gone to Congress and they wanted antitrust exemption. The Congress had different ideas. They're trying to work out a compromise. It's almost dead. It's not quite dead. But the information that we got today was a main driver for the Big Ten at this point in the SEC is to not have all these state laws, this patchwork of laws, supersede any of their rulings. They want all of that out of there, or they can't govern. And if they go in the silo and take some of their, if they increase their autonomy, they're still going to have to deal with these state laws. So they would like some protection against all of that. And then the other thing on the expansion, some sort of extra ingredient about speed of expansion and a certain cap to what you can do to another conference. Unfortunately, we had the Pac-12 situation, something along those lines. So that's a little bit of information that I want to give you tonight, even though it's not clear at all. It's clear as mud, the information I just gave you. But I did not want to keep it. I wanted to put that out there. All right. So what are we talking about here? Before we get to your phone calls, what are we talking about here? McDonald's farm, here a cap, there a cap. Everywhere a cap. Okay, guys, enough with these sharp elbows. I do not want the chat room. Look, we've got new people coming in on our channel all the time. They want to read an enjoyable chat room. Just relax. Just relax. Alvin Gully, you can lay off a little bit. Take one shot, walk away. TC Athletic Director Mike Buddy demands a salary cap. All right, we've heard that before. TC Athletic Director Mike Buddy demands a salary cap. Yahoo Sports, the financial mess in college sports. This was published today, Saturday, July 25th. College sports spending has spun completely out of control. TC Athletic Director Mike Buddy wants to stop the madness. He says everyone, from coaches to athletic directors, needs a hard salary cap. We're not just talking about the players. We're talking about the coaches. We're talking about the athletic directors. Buddy believes this system must include student athletes in the decision process. This isn't just a small tweak. It is a massive shift for the entire industry. Current members show the problem clearly. Top coaches now earn more than over $13 million a year. Some athletic directors in the big conferences make more than $1 million annually. Buddy argues this gap creates an unstable environment for everyone involved. He wants limits to ensure fair competition across the board. Buddy proposal and the legal hurdles. Mike Buddy spoke about this during an interview with Front Office Sports. He stated that athletic directors should make a capped salary. He also said coaches should make a capped salary. Buddy insists student athletes should be in the room helping make these decisions. This approach mirrors how professional sport leagues handle their finances. In college football, coaches' salaries have ballooned out of control. Indiana's Kirk Cignetti, Georgia's Kirby Smart, LSU's Lane Kiffin all earn more than $13 million per year. At TCU, football coach Sonny Dykes makes more than $7 million per year. He recently signed a multi-year contract extension. Buddy's own salary isn't public, but the trend is clear. The idea of capping coaches' salaries have been discussed for years. Lawmakers in Congress have even talked about the idea during hearings. In 2025, Representative Michael Baumgartner introduced a bill to limit salary for coaches. But Buddy knows there are serious legal hurdles to clear. A federal appeals court ruled in 1992 that caps violated antitrust laws. That case was known as Law v. NCAA. Buddy sees one mechanism that could change that legal reality. He points to collective bargaining as a solution. As a former MLB pitcher, he knows how pro sports work. In the pros, salary caps are negotiated and policed by player unions. Unions agree to compensation restrictions with the league. Buddy believes that the same model must apply to college sports. Why this plan makes sense now. Buddy's plan is the only way to save college sports. The current system burns money faster than it can be earned. Schools will keep paying more just to stay relevant. This creates a race to the bottom that no one wins. A cap forces schools to compete on coaching quality, not just wallet size. The legal argument against caps is outdated. Professional leagues have caps because players and owners agree to them. College athletics are now the ones driving the revenue. They should have a say in their own compensation limits. Buddy understands this better than most because of his MLB background. He knows unions make these deals work every day. Without a cap, schools will keep signing ridiculous contracts. We see buyouts that cost millions and drain resources. These funds could build facilities or support other sports. The focus has shifted entirely to the highest bidder. This hurts the long-term health of the NCAA. What fans should watch next? Fans must watch how Congress handles the new bill. Representative Baumgartner's proposal could force the issue. If the law passes, schools will have no choice but to comply. The legal battle over antitrust laws will likely restart. Look for other athletic directors to join Buddy in this fight. The pressure to control costs will grow. If players unionize, a real cap becomes possible. Until then, salaries will keep climbing until something breaks. This is the moment the industry must change. So there it is, TC Athletic Director Buddy saying that there should be a cap, not only on the players, but the coaches, the athletic directors, everything. And we should go under a CBA, a collective bargaining agreement. I would agree with the sentiment of that. But we can't get there from here. We're not even close. We can't go into this national collective bargaining agreement. It doesn't work. Again, we have different states with different labor laws. That we have states that are public unions can't represent public employees, and these guys and gals are not even employees. Now again, we've had these discussions because the SEC and the Big Ten, and I'm sure the Big 12 and the ACC have had these discussions, but internally they're trying to figure out a mechanism, some sort of ability for the students to have some representation, not from a union, but something else to represent them. Probably not going to work, but they're talking about it. But it's interesting, really. I wanted to bring this up. It was an article that was published today. I'm fascinated by the idea, if this PCSA does not pass, and chances are that it won't, and we've got the SEC and the Big Ten looking to bring some things back into the conference, looking to make rules on their eligibility, making rules on the transfer portal, also making their own rules in line with the House settlement about player compensation. And I'm fascinated by the idea of one of these conferences, and maybe it will be the Big 12, one of these conferences, somehow, some way, agreeing among their 16 universities to give the student athletes more of the floor in all of these discussions. I'm fascinated by that. Now, that would be incredibly difficult for a single conference to pull the trigger on any of that. But it's as difficult for the entire FBS college landscape to pull the trigger on something of collective bargaining agreement. I don't think SEC football players can be represented by the same people that Big 12 football players would be. It's a very complicated picture. But I just wanted to bring that up. A very fascinating talk by the TCU athletic director. Just wanted to hear what you guys got to say. This has been your Saturday, July 25th monologue. I hope you enjoyed it. We are going to go to your super chats and your phone calls. Let's get there. Again, we're going to open up the phone lines real quick. Real quick. Christopher Hooter, $2 holler, the purple and gold. Coaches' salaries are out of control. That's true. That's true. Thank you for the $2 holler, Christopher Hooter. Your Lane Kiffin is leading the way. LSU is leading the way. Thank you so much for your generosity. I very appreciate it, Christopher Hooter. We've got Town Hawk, Rock Chalk J Hawk, $2 holler. Pushing Big 12 talk to Saturday night? Very ESPN-ish? Come on, man. I tell you what I'm going to do, Town Hawk. That had nothing to do with... I tell you what I'm going to do. I would do, PATC will do our official prediction for the Big Ten Conference next Saturday night. Next Saturday night. So it's on an even plane. Even access, even exposure. Hopefully that will make you feel better. I wanted to do the Big 12 first because it's the most difficult. It only gets easier from here on in. Thank you so much for the $2 holler. Very much appreciate it, sir. Very much appreciate it. If that is true, Notorious Sun Devil, if that is true, I didn't even see it on the CFP Mafia show. I saw that on X. I thought that was new. If that is true, I file protest. But you know what? I'm not going to file protest. Even if it was 7 months old, it shook me. It absolutely shook me. 10 and 12, I can't change it now. It's officially in the book. It's officially in the book. Thank you, Notorious Sun Devil. I appreciate you updating me and giving me the facts on that. Look, I don't know, man. It is going to be interesting to see what Kenny Dillingham can do with Cutter Boley. Because Cutter Boley did not have the coaching last year. So, it'll be interesting. All right. Bill G streaming will become the main way college football is watched. Change is coming. Got to keep you honest, Greg. That's all. I'm honest. Absolutely honest. And I'm Greg the Gold this year. So how about them apples? All right, let's go to your phone calls. The phone lines are open. 763-260-1333. 763-260-1333. Thank you all for joining us. I very much appreciate it. I know it's a Saturday night. Look, you're going to have to get used to Saturday night.
From
Evo
Badger, the floor is yours. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing okay, Greg. Thanks for taking my call.
You got it, buddy.
You missed
my $2 super chat from earlier.
I did. Hold on.
The Minnesota 7, Wisconsin 45, on November 28th.
Minnesota 7, Wisconsin 45 on November 28th. I'm not sure what type of milk you are putting in your Fruit Loops there, Eva Badger, for your breakfast. Huh? I would, if I was you, I'd stay away from that Wisconsin dairy because it is screwing up with your college football takes. Go ahead, my friend. Thank you for the $2 holler. I do apologize for that, sir.
The reason why I called is I seen some of the comments about how the SEC is the best conference, and I have to debate that because even on the Voice of College Football, there's a person that talks SEC propaganda every single show, and I want to say, well, the Big Ten has won 3 straight natties, has gone at least 5-1 in the bowl games in the last couple of years against SEC opponents. They have been blown out in the playoffs by the Big Ten teams. So they are no longer the best conference in the nation. And I just tired of this SEC propaganda. Sorry, Edward the Auburn Tiger. Sorry, the new guy, the Evian Gully or whatever, however you pronounce it, handle. And the Christopher Reuter and all the LSU people. The Big Ten is the best conference in the nation right now. Hands down. Ever since the NIL was a thing, the Big Ten has been able to surpass the SEC, and they will not have a team in the Natty this year either. I guarantee you that.
You guarantee. There's another guarantee from the Eva Badger. Beautiful. Eva Badger is confident. I think reasonable people can disagree. I don't have any problem with that. I happen to think at the end of last year, I said I'm the last man walking over the bridge. It doesn't look like I'm the last man anymore. Looks like there's still stragglers that do not believe the Big Ten is the better conference. I think the Big Ten has that slight edge. Earlier,
I think it's more than just light. I think there's a big difference.
Okay. A couple of weeks ago, I did a show, and I make believed, all speculation. I had 16 different matchups for games between the SEC and the Big Ten schools, and I did not include the bottom 2 Big Ten schools. People complain about that. Okay, fine. But I had it 7-7 with 2 games that could have gone either way. If you want to include the 2 bottom Big Ten schools, you can't take out the 2 top Big Ten schools. So I guess you take out the middle. I just think at the end of the day, it was really clear to me there was no big advantage either way. This thing about the SEC being so much better top to bottom, I don't see it anymore. I don't even see that anymore. And I think we're seeing that in bowl games and play. I just think, but I think there is and I'll just disagree with you. We'll have to agree to disagree. I think there's a slight advantage, and that advantage could flip on a dime this year. And I think it would behoove the Southeastern Conference they at least get a team in the national championship game, and if they win it, if a SEC team wins it, they shut up the Big Ten. We'll see what happens.
Which will not happen.
All
it
right.
will not happen.
Okay. All right.
And,
All right.
and it's a joke. It's a joke that they have 12 of the top 25 teams in the poll
Yeah, that's a
on
joke.
our FPI.
Yeah.
That's a joke.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's all I got for you, Greg.
All
Tonight.
right. Thank you. I appreciate it, sir. Beautiful
All right.
call.
All right. All right. Bye.
Beautiful call. Thank you, sir.
From
Christopher Hooter.
Christopher Hooter, can you hold on for just one moment, please?
Take time.
I appreciate it, sir. We got Buckeye Greg, $5 holler. $5 holler. The Buckeye is in the house. I sent you the link to Moen's video from last night explaining what this big source told him. All right, I'll go check it. I can't check it out now. Is there any way for some... Hello?
Duke and Virginia. That's what Duke or Virginia. That's what that was.
Oh, to the Big Ten?
Yes, but not both.
Not both. All right. This was PATC. I gotta find it. I was not prepared. I apologize. Hold on. Where do I have it? Boy, I tell you. Is this it? No, that's not it. That's not it. Hold on a second. Why isn't that it? What happened here? Huh. Why isn't that working? That is so strange. That does not make any sense. I got that labeled correctly. Well, I don't know what I did wrong. I did something wrong here. I'm trying to find my my image. Oh, I'm sorry. Here it is. My bad. No, it's not there either. What's going on around here? Why isn't there anything working? Well, forget that. I believe I had tier for the Big Ten. I had tier 1 Notre Dame, tier 2 North Carolina, tier 3 Miami, tier 4 was Virginia and Duke. So at Peek Around the Corner, we got them on the same tier. And we said we feel pretty good about that. Can't go into reasons why about that. So Moen is saying one or the other, but not both.
Yes.
It sounds reasonable to me. Now, again, it all depends on what happens upstream from them, right? Which, is unknown. But it sounds... I can understand that. We got them at the same tier. I think the Big Ten has interest, would have interest, have had interest. All right, Christopher Hooter, I do apologize. Thank you, Buckeye Greg, for giving me a heads up on that. Thank you, Christopher Hooter, for giving me the clue in on that. I appreciate it. The floor is yours, Christopher Hooter. Thank you, Buckeye Greg. Appreciate it.
I saw that clip too of your buddy Moen, and he mentioned he or his guest, they're pretty confident on Miami too. So it seems like if Virginia does not go to the SEC, and they like Virginia to the big and Miami. If Virginia does go to the SEC, then they like Duke and Miami. But I'll let you list them yourself and get that was my take.
All right, is that it?
No. Okay, I was watching rugby today.
Yes.
You ever watch rugby?
I have. I get lost in the rules, but I have.
Well, I'm lost in the rules too. But all these guys are built like fullbacks and maybe small linebackers and strong safeties. Mm-hmm. I mean, these guys are men now. I mean, they're studs, right?
Yes.
And they don't have helmets on, and they don't have shoulder pads on, and they're hitting each other. And I just couldn't think. I'm watching. I go, these guys are really getting after it, and they're in shorts and cleats and just a jersey, right? And this is just I'm just spitballing here, but maybe it wouldn't hurt football if we dialed it down, right? Do we really need all this gear?
Yeah, I think we do. So I used to think that way. I remember reading it was an article about rugby and how so many rugby players have to retire at a young age. And it's usually because of head and neck issues.
It's CTE, yeah.
Yeah, they get wrong too many times in the head, and that's it. They become puncher drunk. Rugby takes a serious toll. So I quickly changed my mind on that. Keep the helmets on. Try to have the helmets absorb punishment, But I used to think that way, and I probably would if I didn't read this article. That it was a long article, and it gave all these statistics of all the medical issues, Australia and New Zealand rugby leagues, and these guys are retiring at a very young age. And it had a lot to do with the bigger guys who do not carry the football, the ones that hammer each other up, kind of like at the line of scrimmage sort of thing. It's the scrub, whatever you call it. But anyways,
so the Mike Websters up front, right? They're head bashing. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, who knew? And but you know what they have to do, and I'm not so sure football should do it. When they score, they have to touch down. They have to take the ball and they have to touch it down, right? And maybe football, would it be the end of the world? You got to grab the ball, you got to touch it down, because that's where the word touchdown comes from, right?
Yep.
And do you know? Okay, speaking of rugby, when the last drop kick was in the NFL?
Wasn't too long ago, right?
You'll never believe it unless it was Doug Flutie's last year. Doug Flutie did it with New England.
Really?
He was such a good athlete. And Belichick put him out there, hey, go nuts, right? Now this is whatever Doug Flutie's, this is a long time ago. Well, not that long ago, but it was in the 2000s, I guess. But yeah, anyway, I'll leave it at that. So,
all right.
Anyway,
I appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much.
I'll talk to you. See you.
Yep.
Okay, bye.
Beautiful. Well, I haven't received all that much blowback from my prediction, Big 12 prediction in the chat room. I think many of you have come to the realization that it's the year of Greg the Gold. I'm not going to be the lovable loser this year. I think a lot of you are looking at this list. You listened to my long breakdown once again. We did a way too early order finish prediction. We did a spotlight series of 80 schools. I did a spotlight in every Big 12 school. I broke them down again tonight. A long dissertation. Look at that. I think a lot of you have been beaten down. You know this is the year of Greg the Gold. There doesn't seem to be much of a blowback from the PATC Einsteins.
Call from
Tasbo.
I'm sorry, who is this?
Tasbo.
Oh, Tazbo, go ahead, sir. The floor is yours.
How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good, sir.
Hey, listen, I was just, I know that a lot of people listen to your show, and hopefully politicians listen to your show. I would like to offer a compromise that I would like them to take a look at. This is a capitalist country, and as you said the other day, people do have a right to go where they want to do and play who they want to play and be who they want to be. I mean, that's what America's about, right?
Yep. Hello. Hello. I did not hang up on you, sir. Tazbo, call again. I did not touch anything. Tazbo, call again. I did not touch anything. I think it was on your end. There we go. There you go, Tazbo. I did not do anything on my end, sir.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, buddy. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Let me get you turned on here. Yeah, what I was talking about was, get the feedback here. I'm going to hang up. This is not working. I appreciate you, buddy. Have a great night.
Yeah, you got it. All right.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, you got it. No problem. I wanted to make sure that Tazbo know it wasn't on this end. All right. Has been.
call from
Todd Town Hawk.
Town Hawk. Go ahead, sir. The floor is yours.
Well, I didn't want to wait any further. I had to ask, Greg, where you got my Jayhawks? That's what I want to know.
Where do I moved up your Jayhawks? This is what I did. In our way too early order of finish prediction that we had in March, we had the Kansas Jayhawks at number 12. Tonight, in our official prediction, we had the Jayhawks at number 10. And I like the idea that the old band is back together again. But again, Cole Ballard and Isaiah Marshall, I have not seen them in a live bullet action in Big 12 play, and it's hard to move them up ahead of those established look at the quarterbacks 1 through 8. I got Kansas number 10. Let me know what you think, sir.
I think I need to make a bet with you for a cheeseburger.
No, we're not doing that. I got enough cheeseburgers on the line. I got a double cheeseburger on the Wisconsin-Minnesota game. I got a double cheeseburger on if the PCSA passes. I got to eat a double cheeseburger. I'm basically dead as we stand. If one of those two things should happen, so we can't do a cheeseburger.
Oh, okay. I got a better one for you.
Where do you think they should be? Honestly, I get it. You're optimistic.
Well, I am not a big believer in the first-year coaches coming in.
Yeah.
So anybody who's got Utah in the top 4, I don't see that.
Okay.
Oklahoma State either. Yeah, I know 3 and 4. Those are tough for me. What I'm seeing on the screen.
I get it. Yep. That's understandable. Yep.
I know people think the prodigal son returns down the road in Manhattan, but again, he might actually have a little bit easier time transitioning because he's worked with a lot of the players that were still on that team. I think he spent, 1 year? Was it just 1 year at A&M? I can't recall. It's either 1 or 2 seasons at Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Klein as OC. So he's got some familiarity with the roster already, and the system is in place and the way they do things over there. So I think he's got a good shot at, winning 6 or 7, maybe ceiling at 8 games, I think, the first year.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Sir? Who's going to be the starting quarterback at Kansas?
I think Ballard.
Ballard?
But again, I think it's 1A, 1B. I don't think it's they both, to answer your question, they both have experience in Big 12 play. Ballard had to play, actually, the first game he started was against K-State his freshman year, his walk-on year, after Bean wasn't able to go.
Mm-hmm.
And Isaiah Marshall, he's had a lot of QB running play packages. I don't want to call it out of the Hawk or the Wildcat, but he's typically run the ball when he's come in, and he has some very dynamic wheels. He's probably the fastest guy on the team. If not the fastest, he's one of the top 3 for sure. So you don't keep that kind of talent off the field the entire way. So I expect him to be on the field at least in situational packages at the very least, if not actually getting a couple series every game.
Yeah. And I love Dylan Edwards. If he stays healthy, I think he's finally going to have that college season that I think a lot of people anticipated he would have earlier in his career. But
I see him as a third down guy. Really, I don't see him getting more than maybe 15, 20 touches a game. Just because I think the health issue is one of the things. And, I think it'll be interesting to see how Kotelnicki uses him in particular packages. I don't know how his hands are, but I could see him rolling out to, all the strange formations and motions and getting them in particular matchups. I'm sure on linebackers is what they're going to be looking at.
That's what I remember. That's what I remember about Kotelnicki when he was at Kansas before. All of that pre-snap movement that he did under Lance Leipold, it was crazy. It was crazy to watch. All those different packages, and they would have the defense confused. So I like that the old band is back together again. I have so much questions about the 2 quarterbacks. I can't. That's my issue with Kansas this year. Now they can answer it right off the bell, right? And I'm going to be deadly wrong. But where would you have them? Would you have them at 6, 5, 4? Where would you have your blessed Jayhawks?
I think anywhere, honestly, my range could be anywhere from 4th to 9th. I think they're going to a bowl for sure this year.
Okay.
One of the things, as far as Leipold, he is more conservative. So I can see him wanting to favor Ballard as far as ball control. Hey, just don't turn it over. We're going to run the ball. We're going to keep them in tight scores and hopefully, keep everything close until the 4th quarter and then take them out to the deep end and let them discover who they are. I think that's how he feels comfortable is playing in more tight games. We've been used to it. It's nerve-wracking as all get out as a fan.
Yeah.
It keeps you kind of glued and gets your heart palpitations going. But I I'm really, the thing that is going to get me, and nobody's talking about it a lot, they are going to have some dynamic young talent at defensive end this year.
Okay.
Leroy Harris III was a kid that was supposed to come in redshirt off of an All-American 1AA performance his true freshman year. Mm-hmm. And he put on 30 pounds of muscle over the summer and kind of worked his way into the starting lineup. Actually displaced kid from the year before that made second team All Big 12. But he had trouble keeping weight on. But anyways, he came on, and we had another redshirt freshman kid, Dekias Brinkley, who was a 4-star out of Houston, that blew up his knee his senior year of high school. So recruiting kind of cooled on him. So his first year, he stayed out and rehabbed. But I've heard he looks pretty good in practice. So having a pass rush is something that hopefully we're going to get back to this season. The strength on the defense is actually in the defensive line, it looks like. So, and the linebacking core can do nothing but get better after the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So, I think they're going to win. I think they're going to win 9 games.
Wow.
I'm throwing it out there.
Okay.
I think they're going to win 9 games.
Beautiful.
Key wins Missouri, and I think they're going to win in London. If they win those 2 games, that means more than likely they start out the season 4-0, and I will be on top of the world, and I'll be calling you every 15 minutes.
and I will enjoy that. All right. I appreciate it, sir.
Okay. Thanks, Greg. Have a great night.
I finally got some pushback. I do appreciate it. That's what this show's for. All right. Thank you, sir. Great call.
All right.
Great call. We got some pushback from Larry Andrick, the West Virginia Mountaineer legend. Taytown Hawk, pushback. Everybody, the bottom 9 believes they're going to be part, or the bottom 8 believes they're going to be part of the top 8. There's only room for, they're only, it's only 1 through 16. Got to put them somewhere. But I get it. Again, I just, I got to see it. I have to see it to believe it, and I may see it. And then I will believe it. We've got a few super chats here. I want to thank you very much. Has been $5 holler giving us an update in Washington, D.C. The House has skipped town until September. I think that further narrows the unlikely path of the PCSA passage in 2026. Yeah, I don't know if the House would have even started working on this until September anyways. I think the Senate still working on the possibility of getting this voted on. We got the Lindsey Graham funeral at the federal level and at the state of South Carolina happening in 2 different days next week. I don't even know how you can get the senators together to even vote on. So I don't know how this is. Again, we have not had any reports that they're working through the weekend. The lawmakers and Petiti and Sankey, no reports that I've seen on that. They worked through the night on Thursday night, but are they working through the weekend? I don't know. I do not know. Thank you, Hasbin. Thank you for the $5 holler. We've got the evil badger still smoking some big time hopium. $5 holler, the evil badger. Badgers will finish higher in the Big Ten than the beloved Minnesota Golden Gophers? Don't think so, Eva Badger. Thank you, Ryan Willie. Thank you for the $5 holler. Thank you for your generosity. You might not, Eva Badger, you might have the Wild Ute, the Professor, all fooled. You might have Nathan Brown, the Bomber. You might have him fooled. And you might have that Moen all fooled with your Badger talk over the Gophers. That you know, that I know, that I know, that you know, that you know, that I know, that I know, that you know. It ain't going to happen. The Axe is staying home in Minnesota. Drake Lindsey's going to throw for 330. Darius Taylor's going to run for 120. Jalen Smith is going to have 118 yards receiving. Noah Jennings is going to have another 75. Javon Tracy's going to have another 44. We are going to rock and roll over the Badgers. The Axe stays home. Thank you for the $5 holler. Very much appreciated, sir. We've got another Helmer Henderson. $2 holler super chat. Helmer Henderson. Appreciate it, sir. Can Fickle turn it around? Why or why not? Sure he can. But it's not likely. I think he's going to run out of time. The athletic director that is in the chair in Madison ain't the athletic director that brought Luke Fickle in. And while I'm a little bit more of a believer in Colton Joseph over Anthony Calandria, I'm not a believer that Colton Joseph. Congratulations. Look, you were pretty good at Old Dominion, but you were not fantastic. He's good, but he's not really. He's bigger than Anthony Calandria. And I think Luke Fickle, look, I have not made it a secret. You know what? Something is going on here. My screen, a lot of my screens are not working for whatever reason. I got to figure this out. Something is not working. Hopefully I get that figured out tonight, tomorrow morning. On the hot seat list, Luke Fickle, I think, is ranked, 3, 4? I can't remember. No, I think, he can. I just don't think he will. But I appreciate the $2 holler. Appreciate it very much. Thank you, Hammer Henderson. Darius Taylor will hamstring his team. That's a good one. Unfortunately. Now, he's been doing Pilates. He's been doing Pilates all off season. So Darius Taylor is ready not to have any soft tissue injuries. We're going to be good. We're going to be all right. We're going to be good. Thank you, Hammer Henderson. Thank you for the $2 holler. We're going to lock it up. We've been on the air for 2 hours and 13 minutes on this beautiful Saturday, July 25th. Get ready to have late night Saturday shows at Peek Around the Corner during the football season, because we're going to be on during Saturday watch parties, aftermath shows, chopping it all up, taking phone calls late into the night, talking everything in college football. Tonight was the Big 12 order of finish prediction. We got the ACC, we got the Big 10, we got the Southeastern Conference, and then we're going to do our final prediction when it comes to the playoffs, and that will wrap up the offseason. As we head in, and I think all of that will be done by the middle of August. We'll be talking about all the reports coming out of August camp. Unfortunately, there's going to be injuries. There is going to be a lot of dramatic things happening in August. And of course, all the off the field issues are still going to be bubbling up. There's still going to be Cloak and Dagger. There's still going to be the Holy Smokes Theater. We cover everything in college football because we love everything in college football. Hopefully you stick with us during the 2026 season. It is going to be sensational. It's going to be so much fun. I cannot wait. I'm all pumped up. Until next time, from all of us at PATC to all of you, please, you all take great care of each other. And as always, God, family,